Everyday superpower, where we talk body language, relationships, game, human dynamics, everything in between. Yo, people, today I'm going to talk about negativity. I'm going to talk about negative energy, negative frequency. It's almost going to verge into a spiritual sense of discussion as opposed to like our traditional physical approach to things or psychological approach to things. A little bit more so into the spiritual realm here, a higher space of consideration. When you associate with negative people or people who don't particularly share an energy you want in your life, you will end up feeling it. And you will hopefully identify it from the get-go, given you have a little bit of life experience and whether you are actually of assessment of the people you keep close or closer. You should start to acknowledge how these people affect your state of mind. Now, it's incredibly cliche. I really hate it when people say this, but I'm gonna say it myself. There's a cliche that you are the people you surround yourself with, i.e., people say that you are a collaboration of the 5 closest people to you, right? And it's not necessarily wrong, because if you associate yourself with 5, 4, 3 negative people, people who are down in the dumps, people who don't help themselves, people who make bad decisions, people who are, in consistent issue that they are helpless to solve and engage in a pattern of self-destruction and so forth, you are most definitely going to be a participant of that, because birds of a feather flock together, right? Now, what if it's my colleagues? What if it's my boss? What if it's my manager? What if it's my family? What if it's my parents, and so on and so forth? This is going to be the case. There are going to be negative facets of the people you spend a lot of time with that influence and affect your psychology and how you perceive and engage with the world. This is why it's a problem. You need to weigh it up and understand as to whether the benefit of having this person in your space or the wage that comes alongside. So you have to weigh things up and establish an understanding as to whether it makes sense that you continue engaging with this person in this space, in this place, or not. Does the financial contribution to your lifestyle outweigh the psychological issues it brings? There is always a balance. I'm not saying that you can't make money and create finance and, possess material possession out of the sake of being a bit down in the dumps or lowering yourself to the level of others. I'm not saying you can't do that. There's really nothing wrong with it if it makes sense to you, right? I'm not going to say you're selling your soul because you're comfortable in doing so. There's no discomfort in you doing so. You're not giving what you don't want to give in receipt of possession. Like, you're choosing to do so, and that's fine with you. But you have to understand, as you consistently engage and submerge yourself within that space, you're going to start to feel that energy seep into your psyche. You're going to start feeling a bit depressed. You're going to start thinking about the wrong things. Let's say, for example, I get involved with 5 drug dealers, right? Selling illegal drugs on the streets. And I'm making a lot of money, and I'm learning a lot of entrepreneurial, self-sufficient lessons and so forth. It's fascinating until you realize, until you actually acknowledge the fact that you're beyond and up and above that, and you're absorbing the side effect of this collaboration, which will be stress, anxiety, acknowledgement, and manifestation of darker energy frequency and so forth. right? Porn stars who are in the game, they make a lot of money. They get some degree of fame. But is the darker frequency of the world they are submerged within, and the issues of those around them, and the, you know, motives of those around them, is that going to put their head in a great space to enjoy life? It's all about weighing up what's coming on. Do you know where I'm coming from? I had a friend, and I'm sure you've had a friend, as to where you've gone to them and said, "How are you doing? I've not seen you in some time. How are you doing?" "Oh, everything's the same. Same old, same old." Now, don't get me wrong, whether it's the person, you know what I mean, you expect that from in a positive manner, given that they're doing all right and so forth. Hold on. I had to pull myself together. So, what I'm saying is, some people might have vital information for you, but come with a lot of cons. The backstabbing people, the lying to people. If they're lying to other people, they're lying to you. If they're backstabbing other people, they're quite potentially doing it to you. But they come with particular information, you have to hang them around. But as you have them hanging around, you slowly start to feel your mental health deteriorate, right? And it affects your quality of life, and your quality of life is way more important than material possession, because people who have a lot still end up taking their lives, and what is taken doesn't come back, right? Let me make a note of what I am wanting to say. I've written down, when people on a negative frequency that drag you down, right? So this is also in the realm of pattern recognition and recognizing patterns of the people around you. If somebody is consistently getting themselves into a state, if somebody can not pay their bills and then not pay their bills again, they are establishing a pattern, and you need to pay attention to that, because that, until they change it themselves, will be a consistent throughout their life. Don't go giving your money to people who can't pay their bills. All right. "Oh, I can't pay my bills. Could you hand some money to me just so I can pay my bills for this time, and then get out of the way," and blah, blah, blah. It's up to you whether you want to risk that, right? People who lie, if they lie to you, they will lie to you again, and then they will lie to you again. They're not going to do it one time over. People don't act one time and then it's out of the way. Maybe it might take a year, maybe it might take a decade, but that's within their character and their psyche. Once they have established that they can pass a boundary you have set personally, whether you have let it be known or not, the moment they pass your boundary into an uncomfortable position, they will continue doing so. You don't want these people in your life, okay? So this is what we're talking about. If I want to move forward, earn stuff, learn stuff, and progress as a human being in the realm I want to, what good is it going to be to me to sit around and hang out with you when you just want to talk about stuff that isn't on the frequency I want to? Now, it's on the frequency you want to talk about, and you're better off speaking to the next person who's interested in that. But to me, it doesn't really make much sense to sit around and talk to you, because you're lowering my field of communication to something that isn't adequate to the level I want to achieve or what I want to push, right? Such as, the more you elevate your thought process and the material you absorb and the mind state you achieve and pursue, the more you continue climbing that, the more people you're going to shut out. You're going to continue feeling this level of zapping, draining, thievery off of people, absorbing your higher frequency when you are engaging with them. So to protect that is incredibly important, but that's a higher level of position you need to be in order to do so, because your general person needs a job. Your general person needs to communicate with those whom, you know, might not necessarily share the same direction. So it's a mathematical equation per se, but the more so you spend with people with elevating perspectives and knowledge and intelligence and intellect that can give you the game, the higher you intellect, because it spurs on a state of mind that is adventurous. When someone tells you about something you don't know in the realm of where you want to be going or what you want to know, it opens up all of these different neural pathways that you can advance in. Whereas when somebody tells you about the television program they watch, the only neural pathways that is opening, if you were literally interested in that, is what's the program like, what other programs is there, and blah de blah. It's of a lower frequency that isn't going to actually manifest anything for you other than a waste of time for your life as you invest and divulge in a media product that is created by another person, and you will you will alchemize your attention to financial benefit for a person who doesn't acknowledge you and you don't even know. You don't want to be on that frequency. You want to be on a higher level. You see? That's a brief one. That's a ramble. And on that note, I'm signing out. Peace, people. See you on the flip side. Click the description down below for the Patreon. One love.